Hello Sim Racers, it is week 6 and the Fixed Setup Oval Racing Guide is here, albeit a bit delayed. Thanks to a Windows update, I lost a ton of footage for this episode and unfortunately had to cut out about half of the content I normally include, but hey, think of it like a throwback to how this series originally started. Maybe that'll help you feel a little bit better if your favorite series didn't make it this week. Last week's poll on the YouTube community page demonstrated that you had a preference towards C-Fixed at Richmond, a combo that I did a lot of, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, the setup was a little bit on the tight side, but C-Fixed seemed to be better than the alternatives. B-Fixed at Iracing Super Speedway, well, that was a problem child all on its own, sort of like I expected it would, and yeah, if you did it, you know. If you didn't, you're better off for it. This week, it's Talladega week, one of the best weeks of the year. Not if you're looking to gain safety rating most of the time, but it's a great opportunity if you have some really good luck on your side to gain some I rating and maybe some safety rating as well. A-Fixed, B-Fixed is at Talladega 2, C-Fixed goes short track racing, and ARCA heads out to Gateway. Let's check them out, see what we got for this week. Before we get into this week's guide, I want to give a huge shout out to my new sponsor, Advanced GG. They are the creators of the best open label supplements for gaming and esports, and they're the only clinically proven brand on the market, backed by science. Focus by Advanced GG is sugar-free, keto-friendly, has 0 calories, and it's packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It comes in a wide variety of amazing flavors. My favorite right now is M-Tashed Mango Splash. It is so good. If you want to learn more about this amazing company and welcome them to our community, head over to advanced.gg and use code HOUSE at checkout to save 10% on your purchase. All that information is linked down in the pinned comment below. Again, big thank you to Advanced GG. Now, let's get into this week's guide. The ARCA Menard series goes to Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway, for a 40-lap race that takes place at 7:45 p.m. in Sim. All right, here's a mini rant. Can they update the names of the setups to reflect the name of the track? When you go into the folder for setups, for fixed setups, the setup for this track is called Gateway, not called Worldwide Technology. Can we get that in line? No? Just me? Okay. Anyway, this car lacks rear grip. Stop me if you've heard that one before in ARCA this year. It lacks rear grip, especially on corner exit. It's like a snap loose on cold tires, so you just gotta be easy on the throttle pedal. A lot of throttle discipline. That'll help you keep this thing rolling in the right direction. For this qualifying lap, I used a 14:1 steering ratio and 62% brake bias. Yeah, you had to dial it back quite a bit. My lap time was a 34.309. Gateway is a track that is all about momentum. It's sort of like the Milwaukee Mile. You have long straightaways connected by sweeping turns. It's the type of track that rewards patience and tire conservation. How do you protect your tires? It's all about those two pedals, throttle and brake. If you find yourself getting loose on corner exit, dial back how much throttle application you are applying before the car is actually settled to make that corner exit. Especially if you're going to make a good pace over 40 laps, you gotta learn how to take care of your tires. Overdriving corner entry, very easy to do at this track, and it's pretty tempting to just throw it off in there because the track is so wide, but you're not going to make up time with this approach. You make up your time on corner exit, beating people to the throttle, not getting loose or pushing out to the wall, and passing them down the straightaways. That's the key to Gateway, worldwide technology, whatever the hell it's called. C-Fixed provides the short track racing fix that we all so desperately wanted to have this week, and it comes in the form of North Wilkesboro. Woo. This race is 55 laps in length and takes place at 3 p.m. in sim. Now, I did run one of these on stream last night, and it was the second C-Fixed after the changeover, so it wasn't the first one, which are typically some of the most populated, but this one was pretty well populated, and yeah, it was interesting to say the least. If you thought Richmond was a snug setup, just wait until you feel this one. For this qualifying lap, I used a 14-to-1 steering ratio and 62% brake bias. My lap time was a 19.186, but in my race that I did last night, the pole time was an 18.9, so keep that in mind. My biggest observation from already running a C-Fixed race this week was just how many people were simply overdriving corner entry, washing up the track, and killing their right front tire, which led to handling issues if we got a longer run, which was like 10 laps at most. Many drivers were complaining that the truck had no front end response when they turned the wheel, but the people that I saw complaining about it were also the people I saw overdriving the corner, and they're carrying too much speed, and the truck won't change direction when you're carrying too much speed. It's a tight setup. That's the base foundational flaw, is that it's a very tight setup. So if you just back up your corner entries a little bit, you're going to get more response from the truck when you turn the wheel. That being said, I would not recommend going above 14-to-1 on the steering ratio. There were a few guys who ran 16-to-1 in that race, and they made it known to everybody that that was a big mistake, so stay away from 16. You might want to try 12-to-1, but if you drive hard and traditionally have bad right front tire wear, you may not want to do that either. 14 might be the sweet spot. At North Wilkesboro, just expect a lot of contact and wrecks. It's the nature of this track, and with a tight setup paired along with that, it's almost a guarantee. Stack ups on restarts, dive bombs, and people just overdriving and washing up the track into you. These are the things that come when you race at North Wilkesboro. If you go into this week, you've been warned. Good luck. B-Fixed goes super speedway racing for the second week in a row. Now it's at Talladega. This one is 30 laps in length and is run at 2:30 p.m. in sim. For this qualifying run, I used a 16-to-1 steering ratio, don't need to worry about brakes, and the time was a 54.130. I did live commentary as I typically do for super speedways, so let's listen to Monday Night Schildhouse as he guides us around Talladega in the B car. Here we go, qualifying for B Fixed at Talladega. Not overly complicated, but there are a few things that you can do to improve your lap time that other people probably aren't doing. And if you're trying to go for pole position, these are the things you're going to want to do. It all starts from a standstill here on pit road. How you get up to speed through the gears will absolutely have a huge impact on your lap. So this car, a little bit underpowered. You can absolutely full throttle it all the way around. Let's go. I like to shift right before 9,000 RPMs as well. Seems to be a good place to shift in these cars. You don't want to bounce it off the chip because you're just going to slow down. See, there you go, into fourth right before the blue cone. Let the car mosey up onto the track here and then look for this dashed line. This is going to be your guide for the next lap and a half. As you do your out lap and your first timed lap, you're going to be just following this dashed line around the track. So we'll speed things up here. We'll see you back for the money lap at the white flag. Coming to the white flag here now to start the flying lap. As you get to the start-finish line, you're going to want to let the car just sort of naturally drift towards the bottom of the track. No steering wheel input or anything. You just want to make sure you are at the bottom of the track when you enter turn 1. It's going to take a little bit of practice for you to figure out how to do that exactly, but start doing that, you're going to see a huge pickup in your times. Let the car work its way up onto the backstretch here, straddling the two dash lines, and again, start letting the car wander back towards the bottom by itself without any steering wheel input so that you enter turn 3 on the yellow line. Wrap the yellow line all the way through the exit of turn 4. Do not arc out. Keep it on the bottom. Set up for the tri-oval run. Again, on the bottom. To the line we come. And what's our time? Survey says 54.130 was the time. There you go. Good luck. Now, rumor has it that Iracing put the side force drafting model, aka side suck, onto this car, but didn't put the aero bubble that's seen on the A car. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say that I know for sure. That's just something that I've heard from people who typically know what they're talking about. Either way, these cars should be a lot more racy than the A car, but traditionally, B Fixed at Talladega has always felt a little unstable on the straightaways, like the car just sort of weeble wobbles trying to go in a straight line, and it can get really squirrely from overly aggressive pushing, so just be aware of that. These races at Talladega are always a crapshoot, but if you can get teamed up with some drivers who you're familiar with, you may be able to put yourself in a position to win some of these races, or you'll just wreck spectacularly. That's usually how it goes, right? A Fixed is also at Talladega this week, and it runs for 35 laps at 2:30 p.m. in sim. For qualifying, I used a 16:1 steering ratio. Brake bias doesn't matter. My lap time was a 51.956, and once again, we will go to Monday Night Schildhouse for this qualifying guide. Qualifying for A Fixed and NIS will be exactly the same. It all starts with how you get away from pit road. Watch your tire spin, watch your shift points, get up to speed as smoothly and as quickly as you can. I generally shift around 94, 9,500 RPM, somewhere in there. Seems to be just fine. You can flat-foot it all the way through the apron. Just be smooth on the steering wheel. That's the best thing you can do. Just be smooth. Let the car get to this top dashed line. And just let it sort of settle there. All the way around the track to start your first time lap. We'll speed things up here. We'll see when we start our second lap, the flying lap, at the white flag. Here we come to the white flag. As we get to the start-finish line, let the car start to wander towards the bottom of the track. Naturally, no steering wheel input needed. It'll just do exactly that and just get right to the bottom so that you enter turn 1 on the bottom. Left side's right up against the apron. Let the car naturally drift up out of 2. Halfway in the middle here of the backstretch. And again, let the car naturally glide to the left so that you enter turn 3 on the bottom. As close as you can get without hitting the apron. Keep the car on the bottom all the way through the exit of 4. Right around the bottom in the tri-oval. And that's the lap. Let's see where we are. We go 51.956 against very overpowered AI cars. Neat. The new Super Speedway Aero package for this car is extremely frustrating at times. It can be really fun at times, but I believe the majority of drivers who engage with it are not going to like it. It is such a huge departure from what we have had in the past. The air bubble is such a powerful force that you can simply move in front of another driver and actively push them away from you or just slow them down significantly. And you'll experience it. Somebody will change lanes, drop down in front of you, and you will hear your RPMs drop and you will not be able to suck up to them. It is wild. Oh, and if you think that you're just gonna pull out and pass without a ton of help pushing behind you, yeah, you're gonna get freight trained. The aero bubble, it will keep cars away from your rear bumper, but if they get enough help and pierce that air bubble, they get a huge head of steam, and just the strength of the runs that you can generate in the pack are ridiculous at times if you have the right grouping of people. Drivers who understand how to use this aero package are going to have a field day with the wider population who don't, I think. I can say that Iracing did a pretty good job of simulating the current Cup car package for super speedways, but I don't really like the real life product, so I'm not surprised that I'm not a big fan of it here either. I gotta give them credit though. I think they modeled it pretty accurately. It just doesn't make for that fun of racing in most cases. But again, with the right group of people, it can be kind of fun. NIS at Talladega is a 94-lap race that starts at 1:30 p.m. in Sim. My approach to NIS this week is track position, as weird as that is to say for a super speedway race. Generally, I'd say, yeah, hang out in the back, just survive, and maybe, you know, if you're still around with 20, 15 laps to go, go for it. But now, with this new aero package, it is really easy to lose the draft, and I can't really recommend just hanging out in the back anymore unless you have some really experienced and good help that can push you and work with you to track down the pack if they get away. Will there be wrecks? Of course there will be. It's Talladega. But being up front and in the lead pack is more valuable now than it's ever been, I believe. Also, getting on and off of pit road will be essential to your success if you get green flag pit stops. So try to coordinate with at least 2 or 3 other drivers so that you're not left alone on an island out there. There's a lot of ways to lose the draft now with this aero package. Blowing it on pit road should not be one of those ways. That is fully in your control. So again, coordinate with a couple other drivers, but try to stay in that lead pack. I recommend getting some practice before you do NIS, because you can't just jump into this with this new aero package and expect good things to happen. It is now an art form to use this aero package to your benefit. Get out there, do some practicing, and honestly, good luck. And that'll do it for this week's Fixed Setup Oval Racing Guide. I hope that you enjoyed it and found the information to be educational, but most importantly, helpful. If it was, please help me out by leaving a thumbs up rating on the video. Share it with your friends. We need to get more sim racers watching these videos. With your help, we'll be able to do that, so thank you. If you're new to the channel and want to make sure you never miss an episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn notifications on. Additionally, you can watch my iRacing adventures live on my Twitch channel, linked down in the description below. I'll be live streaming for the next few hours and throughout the week. If you want to know my streaming schedule, head over to my community Discord and find it there. It's posted every week. If you want to get in touch with me and stay up to date on the latest channel activity, the best way to do that is to follow me on Twitter, also linked down in the description below. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great week of racing.